Do people in Canada have cable, like other people?
We keep this up in the playoffs. I don't care.
And at Chili's. Is it a Chili's?
Achilles.
Finally.
You don't know that?
Fuck you! Get this guy the fuck out of here!
Alright, well, coming in at number 5, I got Anthony Stolarz.
Now! Jets are winning the cup!
Thank you for watching and listening. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode number 117 of the NordCast. It is Friday, July 11th, 2025. I am your host here, Nordic97, joined with Kata and just Carter today. Carter, how are we doing?
We're doing all right. I'm quite tired here.
Poor guy.
Summer's in full effect. It's been a stressful last few days, but yeah, I don't know. Been all right. Didn't do much.
Yeah, I went to the beach yesterday. That's why my nose looks redder than it usually does.
Actually,
yeah, so.
you just reminded me. I got absolutely sunburned on the weekend, like real bad.
Oh yeah, I got killed as well.
My skin is like peeling like crazy right now. I'll send you a picture of how red I was, but like my shoulders, the like front of my chest was like bad. My back literally had the outline to my tank top on it. Like it looked like I was still wearing like a white tank top. It was bad. So
send it to me. I'll put it on the pod if you want me to.
Oh god, that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the only way where I'm hurting is like right around here and all in my face. My girlfriend though is like very sensitive skin. She can't tan. She'll like burn. Like she physically cannot tan. And she got absolutely killed as well. So we're living pretty brutal right now. But I need to issue an apology to all the fans of this podcast. We have not produced a lot of episodes in the last couple of weeks, just because of how busy we have all been. And I think we're going to be honest, it's just me being a little bit lazy. It's the off season. I wanted to kind of just chill a little bit. And that's on me. Carter's nodding his head because he knows it's true. We have not uploaded an episode. We recorded an episode, but I never got to uploading it. Since we haven't uploaded an episode since before the draft. So it's been pretty brutal with that. And I want to apologize to everybody for that. From now on, now that I'm heading into college and stuff, I need to stop effing around and actually be consistent and do things. So that's what's going to happen. There's no more of this being inconsistent with the podcast. And we were good for a while, but just recently I've been kind of burnt out. So I've been kind of doing a lot of chilling, I guess. A lot of working, actual job. But, you know, yeah, I had to beat the unemployed allegations. But regardless, stopping that, we're going to hop into something we're going to do over the next 4 weeks. We are going to be taking a look at all of the divisions, the Metro, the Pacific, the Central, and the Atlantic, taking a look at all 32 teams and just reviewing their offseason up to this point. We may be making like news videos in between or news updates on trades that happened during the offseason, but we're not going to hear a lot. We're going to hear like nothing over the next couple of weeks, couple of months at that. So I think it'd be a good time to kind of start out with this. We're going to start off in the Pacific Division today with the Anaheim Ducks is where we're going to start. So the Anaheim Ducks did not have a whole lot of moves that they made. That doesn't mean they had no moves. They made more trades than they did signings, especially. So I'll start out with the first one where they acquired Chris Kreider and a 4th-round pick, which was their own, from the New York Rangers in exchange for Carey Terrance. So that's an interesting move. Obviously, getting Kreider on a full cap hit, going to be some veteran presence there with the Anaheim Ducks. Carter, what do you think about that trade up to this point? Is that just some veteran help for the Anaheim Ducks right now?
I think so. I think Kreider's kind of there to help provide a little bit more of a veteran presence, which is something that they don't really fully have because, like, this is a young team. They have Killorn, who's a little bit of an older guy. They traded in Trouba, and they have Gudas to kind of help in that defense core. So getting a little bit more to help out with the forward guys, especially someone who's, you know, had a pretty good NHL career, is very good to help out. You know, guys like Gauthier, Carlson, McTavish, and guys like that. So I think that this is a kind of a good build-up piece for your future.
Definitely. I think Kreider is going to be a good add for either that like second line right wing side. I think he could be a good second line forward if he can kind of get back his goal scoring. I know he's a little bit older than he was when he was putting up like 40 goals a year, but even still, if you can get even like 25 out of him, I think that's a good move for the Anaheim Ducks. Just Kreider was banished to the fourth line with the Rangers. It just wasn't working out, honestly. So, yeah. The other move that they made a couple. There's only 3 notable trades that they made. The other one was trading away and saying goodbye to Trevor Zegras. They sent him over to the Philadelphia Flyers, which we will go into that return, but we're talking about Anaheim here. They got Ryan Poehling, a second in this year, and then a fourth in next year. So, Carter, obviously, there's a lot of, not like risk with Philadelphia, but they obviously get the better player here. Anaheim gets like a bottom 6 forward here, Ryan Poehling, and some draft picks. But Poehling, what is he going to do for Anaheim?
I mean, he's going to be, a decent help to that fourth line. I don't exactly know his game too much. I didn't really catch a lot of Flyers games, but I know that he's definitely got a little bit of skill, especially as a fourth line guy. I think he'd be, a pretty good help that they can have. He's only 26 years old too. It's not like he's like an old fourth line guy that they traded in. He's 26. He's still young, and he doesn't have a big cap hit compared to a lot of their guys right now. So I mean, pretty good for Anaheim to bring in a guy like Poehling. Plus, they got a second round pick in it, who I can't remember exactly who they took, but I'm pretty sure I enjoyed their draft pick there. So
yeah, I definitely enjoyed it too. Yeah, I like Poehling. I think Poehling's going to be a fourth line player, especially acquiring Mikael Granlund, who we'll get into here in a little bit. I think that Poehling's going to be a good add for sure. I think he's going to be a nice acquisition on that fourth line to help out with that overall depth. I just don't see him being any higher than that. Like, you have Carlson first line center, McTavish will probably be your second line center, and then I guess Granlund is your third line guy, and then I guess Poehling would be fourth. Like, I mean, that's, to be honest, that's the only way I could really see their center core working out, which, by the way, that's a pretty solid center core, I must say. But, yeah, their last trade that they made was saying goodbye to John Gibson. He's going over to Detroit. In exchange, the Ducks get Peter Mrazek, a second in 2027, and a fourth in 2026. Carter, Mrazek's going to be the backup. He's basically replacing Gibson. I don't think there's that much to it. If you have anything more to add, feel free. I mean, there's not really much to it.
I mean, not really. It just kind of sucks that that's where Gibson goes. He doesn't really be given a great chance to be a goalie to win. So it kind of sucks for him. But as far as for Anaheim, I think that this is pretty good. You get some assets for a backup goalie and a very talented one at that. You get a second round pick in 27 and a fourth in 26. So not bad, especially a goalie who can also help mentor Dostal as well. You're not replacing him with a younger goalie that now it's like, okay, well, Dostal, you got to mentor this guy as well and everything like that. No, they keep kind of that mentorship going with Peter Mrazek. So I'm not mad about this move at all.
Yeah, you kind of had to do it. I mean, like, Gibson was just like, if you're going to be the point to where you're a playoff team, we've seen it time and time and again that having two starters, it just doesn't work out. It's not useful to you. Like, I guess if one of them goes down, you can use the other one, but you'd be better off taking that money and spending it elsewhere in your system than on two starting goaltenders. Not like Gibson was making like 10 mil, but even still, like, you still want to have some cap relief. And they get that with Mrazek, just about $2 million more to their cap. And then the only signing that they made was notable was signing Mikael Granlund to a 3-year, $7 million deal, which is worth $21 million total at the end of that. Granlund is going to be a third-line center. I think that, again, you look at the overall depth chart for the Ducks, he's listed as their third-line center behind Carlson and McTavish, as I said. Again, I think what really Anaheim wanted to do was kind of just round out the center core. And I got to be honest, I think that's a very good center core. But Granlund, maybe a little bit too much, being paid $7 million as a third-line center. You can kind of take that what you will. But regardless, I don't hate it that much. It's not like it's a big thing for them. But if you have any thoughts on that, Carter, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of surprising that Anaheim was the team to kind of go get him, because I don't
Yeah,
see them
too.
it's just weird figuring out where he fits on this roster for $7 million. Like because he's not taking over for Gauthier or Carlson or Terry on that first line. Like that's a lock. And then you already brought in Kreider. You already have McTavish. Like unless you're gonna switch him and Vetrano, but I don't think Vetrano is a third line guy. So I don't know. I just felt that this was kind of a weird fit as far as Anaheim's concerned. I mean, for Granlund, I mean, $7 million's a pretty good haul in return there. So, I mean, not bad for him, but I mean, it's always good to have depth. But $7 million is a lot of money. But I mean, as we're gonna say for a lot of these contracts, cap's going up, so this might not be kind of a big deal in the future here.
The cap is going up, and as well as that too, it was kind of a mid free agent market. There wasn't a lot of big name guys to go out for. I think Anaheim, I think they really wanted Mitch Marner, and
They did.
To Vegas. I think they really wanted him, so they kind of had to resort to somebody else. And I think again, you had to get somebody to replace, I guess, quote unquote, replace Trevor Zegras, even though Zegras was injured a lot of the time. But you needed a third line center. I guess Granlund will be that for you, but $7 million, it's kind of wild to me. But yeah, that was the moves they made more or less. There really wasn't a whole lot in terms of that. Carter, what else you got?
What about Ville Husso? I'm kind of surprised with Ville Husso signing. Because
right.
they have Dostal, they have Mrazek, and then Husso signed for 2.2. So are they really running it? Is that because of the triple goalie thing, or?
I don't know why. Even if it is for that, I don't know why he's getting that much money. I'm going to be blunt with you. I don't know why he's being paid $2.2 million. That just seems crazy to me.
It's so random that I figured I might as well bring it up. But
I forgot. I guess I'm looking at the wrong thing. It's not showing me who they signed. But yeah, it's only showing Granlund for me because I guess he was a minor league guy. But yeah, he's going to be your third. He's going to be in the AHL, and you're signing him for a $2.2 million deal. It just seems a little strange, but I digress, I guess. But if you had to grade Anaheim's offseason, what would be the grade you give them?
It's kind of a weird offseason, but I mean, I think they did make some decent upgrades there. I'd probably give it a B minus-ish area.
That's what I'm thinking. I think they improved. I think they improved on things that they needed to do. They kind of I guess you could say they kind of cut back on some of their cap moves, and as well as that too, they just upgraded on places that they needed to upgrade on and solved some issues that were at hand. Like the Zegras thing, was he really sustainable for this team right now? With Gibson, was it really worth it keeping him when you could get some assets back? I think again, I thought they had a good offseason. I'd say a B, but do you think, because I'm going to ask this question, playoffs, yes or no next year with this current roster?
I think that's what they're built for. As far as getting to it, I don't know. I think that they got a good chance. I think they got a better chance than they did last year. So I'm going to say no, but I think that next year is probably going to be their best chance. But I think that they're building towards the playoffs. Now, a few things that I want to quickly throw in before we move off of Anaheim here. They do have $29 million in cap space, so they do have a lot of money to work with here. But at the same time, they also got a lot of guys coming up for contracts this year and next year. So McTavish, he's due. Dostal, he's due right now. Hellison's due right now as well. Colangio, he's due right now as well. Now we haven't even gotten to next year where they are going to have their work cut out for him. Cutter Gauthier, he's due for a contract. Leo Carlson, he's due for a contract. Lacombe, Mintnikov, Zellweger, all due for contracts.
Holy crap.
All of those defensemen that I named are all left D. Now, I was listening to 32 Thoughts, and they were kind of talking about the potential of Mintnikov or Zellweger being moved, and apparently Anaheim shut all that down. But when you look at the contracts that they got to give out next season, and on top of that, the abundance of left shot D-man that they have, being strong on one side of the puck is pretty good, but I think that you could probably use someone else to be your first pairing right defenseman with one of those guys moved, whether it's Lacombe on your as your left wing or your left D man with someone else on the right. Do you think that by the end of next season, before RFA, we're not going to talk about like offer sheets, but do you think that they will trade either Zellweger or Mintnyakov?
I don't think it's impossible. Again, you got to look at the depth chart here. You're going to have Lacombe, Mintyukov, and Zellweger on that left side, as you said.
Look at the right side. That right side's weak.
The right side is very weak. It's Gudas, Trouba, and Hellison, as I'm looking at right now on the projected lineup. But yeah, like looking at this, like I feel like I'm going to be honest, like their hand might get forced here anyways. Like I don't think Zellweger is a third pairing defenseman. Neither is Mintyukov, and I don't think Lacombe's going to be either. Lacombe had a phenomenal year. Like, nobody's talking about this kid. He's really underrated. Same with Mintyukov and Zellweger. They're three very good defensemen. The problem is, though, they're all on one side. And the problem is with left-handed defenders, they're way easier to come by than right-handed defenders. That's the other problem, which is probably why they have so many of them. I think if like again like they don't want to trade any of these guys because it's good to have a stacked decor, but there might come to a point where you want a right shot defenseman. You might have to trade one of those better left shot guys in exchange for a better right shot guy. You can't just have all your talent on one side. Like you don't see Stanley Cup teams like you didn't like Florida last year had guys on all four sides. They had Forsling, Jones, Ekblad, and Mikkola amongst others. Like. You can't have all your talent on one side. That just doesn't work. So again, I think that I'm not saying that like Anaheim's like contending for a Stanley Cup next year, but it's definitely not impossible. So I agree with that. I think that could happen. Is there anything else?
I
got one more.
I think if they make it to like the RFA, I think that there's not a doubt that they will get offer sheeted for sure. Because I don't know, I don't see them getting a crazy like contract or anything when it comes to the mid-season.
It's not a problem right now, but it's certainly like something you got to keep an eye on there with the Anaheim Ducks.
It's something that we're going to have to watch throughout the season.
For sure. Now, one more thing that I do want to throw in there with Anaheim. They also have a new coach. Joel Quenneville is the coach of the Ducks. We've kind of forgot about that. So they did all this last year with Cronin, who was absolutely terrible, hated the kids, just kind of, like limited them a lot of the year, and they still had a very big improvement. I think that's a very good thing to look at. Quenneville going in there as the coach, again, he has that success. You got to think that it's gonna go that way. I guess we'll see. There's going to be controversy for sure throughout the season. But I think that Anaheim getting Quenneville in there and then the ads of Kreider and Granlund, just some veterans too. Like those are vets. Like those are guys who have played a couple of years in the NHL or more. So again, I think that's a big thing here for a very young team like Anaheim. But regardless, this is an exciting young team to watch. That top six alone just looks like a top six that I would love to watch. Again, I'm looking forward to it. Next up, moving on to the Calgary Flames. Now, the Flames really did not do a ton this offseason. I'm pulling up their trades here right now.
They made no notables.
They made no notable trades. Did they make any notable signings?
Yeah, so they signed Ball for a 6-year, $5.35 million deal. Hanley to a 2-year, $1.75 million deal. And Morgan Frost got 2 years by $4.375 million.
So from what we're looking at here, they just re-signed players this year. They didn't really change up any of the roster. And I don't really know how to feel about that. This is pretty much the same team heading into next year. I don't know. They really didn't do anything to like improve the scoring, unless if Coronado and them take big steps next year. Like I don't know what to think. What are you thinking right now about Calgary?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Anderson's gone by the deadline. I think whether Calgary's in a playoff spot or not, because he's pretty much guaranteed that he's not returning. So you're going to get assets back for him anyways. So that kind of stings for them. But I mean, Wolf's going to need a contract at the end of next year too. Zeri's in the middle of a contract right now. Backlund will be expiring, and they'll probably not bring him back. So I don't know. I think that they're kind of just willing to stay put, let some of their young guys develop for another year before we start seeing Zane Perrick be a full-time guy. Because I don't know if he is. I think that he should be. But I guess we'll kind of find out. They got some guys that they can address here, but I think that the biggest thing that we're going to have to watch is Anderson, because I think that there's a guarantee he's getting dealt. I don't think he'll be like a deadline guy. I think he'll be done sooner than that, because that's kind of how it is for a lot of teams that are like fringe in the playoffs but know they're going to lose a guy. Kind of how we saw it with Colorado and Carolina. So I don't know. I don't really know what to think of them, because they didn't change anything, and last year they were mid. So I don't know.
They're going to be about the same, honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe they squeak in, because like they weren't like that far away from the playoffs. They were just right there. Like I think to be honest, like unless if we see something soon, I think it might just be the same team again and the same result next year. Like maybe Anderson brings something, like not him himself, but maybe he brings a return that like moves the needle. I don't know. Like besides that, I don't really think much is going to change. Now, there is something you can watch besides Anderson, and that's obviously Dustin Wolf. He's an RFA at the end of next year, so that's something interesting. Maybe they didn't really want to sign anybody to big contracts because they knew Dustin Wolf was coming up. You got to sign Connor Zary as well. You got Pospisil next year. Not a whole lot besides Wolf and Zary, but overall, again, I think they just want to get their young guys in there. Like they want to get Zane Perrick in there for a full season, and I think probably trading Anderson is the right move. They want to get young development from a guy like Coronado, who they just signed a contract to. Like even like have Yegor Sharangovich have a bounce back year. I'm really intrigued about Joel Farabee and Morgan Frost, because when they got there to Calgary, they were not great. Like they weren't like I saw a lot of upside there from Flames fans saying that they could be something good. And as a Philly fan, like I hope they're good. I'm not gonna say like I'm not like praying on their downfall, but maybe this is just a rough year for them. Maybe they'll come back and bounce back. But both of them weren't that great. Like Farabee, 6 points in 31 games played. Frost had 12 points in 32 games played. So just again, it wasn't the best outcome that you wanted from guys like them, especially when they were like 40-point scorers. Like Farabee the year prior had 50 points, I believe, if I'm looking at this correctly. So again, I don't know. Like there's definitely going to be things there to look at, but Calgary is going to be more or less the same. What would be your off-season grade for Calgary? I'm just going to go like, I think what's kind of fair here is a C, because I don't think they really did anything. Like a C is like you weren't good, but you weren't bad. So I think a C is the right grade.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that C is just like you kind of stayed put, didn't get any better, didn't get any worse. So yeah, I think a C works. But what I will say is I might give them a C minus, just because I thought maybe they'd do a little bit more. Kind of overwhelming, especially for like a fringe team last year as they were. I thought maybe they'd try and address some scoring or something, but they didn't. So I'm going to drop mine to a C minus. But yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go with a C. But like I will agree, like you would think that there would be something like maybe some like
something, just
like
literally anything,
like a death move or anything like that. But they made no notable like. There's nobody joining the team. It's the same roster basically. So again, that's a little bit interesting. But moving on then over to the Edmonton Oilers, who just went to the Stanley Cup final. They definitely made some changes. They brought some guys onto the roster, mainly forwards. But let's start off with the trades that they made. And they made a couple, actually, believe it or not. They started off with trading Evander Kane to Vancouver, getting a 4th-round pick. Really, this was just a cap dump. They get some cap relief with money they can use to sign Frederick and Mangiapane and the other guys they got. Overall, nothing too much here, but Evander Kane was good when he was with Edmonton, but a lot of the time I felt like he was just a kind of like a hole in their system. So I don't know what you think about that. If you have anything to add.
No, I mean, I think it's good. Clears a little bit of cap room for him, and I'm surprised that Vancouver was the team to kind of go after him. But we'll talk about that in a little bit here. Yeah, I think good move for Edmonton. I think that he kind of got a little frantic in the Stanley Cup final, took a few dumb penalties, which I mean, I guess happens. But
Idiot in the Cup finals. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. But as well as that, too, they also traded Arvidsson to the Bruins in exchange for a 5th-round pick in 2027. Carter, kind of the same thing, just was a hole in their roster. He was decent in the playoff run. He wasn't, like, as noticeably bad as Evander Kane. But, again, just kind of invisible. And you need guys to really be scorers in terms of depth in the playoffs. So I think, again, just it's a good dump for the Oilers. And again, you combine that money, $5.125 for Evander Kane, $4 million for Arvidsson. That is $9 million that you get in cap relief. And we'll get into who they signed, but I think that's very good management there by Edmonton.
Yeah, I agree. I know we'll talk about this when we get to the... Oh my gosh, I don't know if you can hear my dogs are just going crazy right now.
I can't hear your dogs.
Oh my gosh, that's so annoying. Anyways, I'm surprised that Boston was a team to take Arvidsson, same way I was with Evander Kane. Like, I don't understand that, but whatever, we're talking about Edmonton here. Again, a good cap dunk. They got a 5th-round pick, which it's a 5th-round pick. It's usually just like a guessing game for it, but I mean, yeah, I guess not bad for them.
Yeah, not too bad. And then the last trade they made was literally last night, where they acquired, or 2 nights ago. Sorry, my days are mixed up. They acquired Isaac Howard from Tampa Bay in exchange for Sam O'Reilly. This is a good move for the Oilers. Not a decent move; it's a good move because I think again Howard won the Hobey Baker this past year with Michigan State. Now, again, I'm going to say this. When you win the Hobey Baker as a junior or senior in college, as opposed to a freshman or sophomore, I don't think it means a lot as it would. But again, Howard, it's like Savoy. It's not a lot of risk. Sam O'Reilly's going to be at best a third-line center. Howard has some good offensive scoring to him. The biggest thing that I said to Carter was like, and again, I don't want to get too into this because it doesn't relate to the Oilers, but I'm just like, if that was the return, if like Sam O'Reilly, that level was the return, I'm surprised he didn't get traded sooner, honestly. It must have been that the Lightning were holding out for something they thought was going to be more. But yeah, Howard will be a good add there. And again, the Oilers need like cheap, good scoring forwards on their roster. And if Howard can do that, he's getting a league minimum deal for like 2 seasons. I think that's good. So what do you think?
I agree. I absolutely love this move. They don't have the greatest prospect pool in Edmonton. I guess Howard's not really a prospect anymore now that he signed his deal. But I mean, I think that he's got a lot of potential here to maybe shoot his way up to the second line, everything like that. So I absolutely love this deal for Edmonton. I think that this might, also help entice McDavid to stay a little bit more. Like, hey, we got this prospect. He's a Hobey Baker winner. He's going to be playing left wing here. You might get the chance to play with him. Probably not because Nugent Hopkins and Zach Hyman, but whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, quite a good trade for Edmonton, I will say. And yeah, again, if that was the return, I am shocked that no one else really picked up the phone and tried to make a phone call.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay was holding out. I think that's what it was, to be honest with you. So I'm not gonna get too mad over it. But I guess it sucks, but it is what it is, I guess. Some of the re-signings and signings that the Oilers made start out with the fact that they signed guys like Curtis Lazar to a 1-year, $775K deal. Not a bad 4th-line guy at that. Andrew Mangiapane was signed to a 2-year, $3.6 million deal. I like this. Mangiapane can be... I feel like he's like a slightly better, slightly younger version of Arvidsson and slightly less paid than Arvidsson. He feels like that kind of player. I think it's still a good deal, though. Noah Phillip they signed, deaf player. Kasperi Kapanen they signed to a 1.3. They re-signed Frederick, 8 years, 3.85. A lot of term, but all right. And then they also signed Evan Bouchard, 4 years, $10.5 million to an extension. So, Carter, what did you think of the signings that the Oilers made?
I like the Mangiapane signing. I think that he'll fit in very well. Whether it's a second line winger or a third line winger, I love the way this guy plays. I think he was very good for Washington in the playoffs this year. Frederick, I'm shocked he got that much term. I thought it was going to be like 6 years, maybe. But even then, how he's getting paid more than Mangiapane is crazy to me. But
he didn't really do much in the playoffs either. Like
he didn't. He was very underwhelming.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. I feel
Kapanen, I like that deal. 1.3 mil. I liked how he played in the playoffs. I thought Kapanen was one of their better players as far as like bottom six was concerned.
There was a ton of hate on Kapanen. I don't know why. I'm like,
I thought he played well, but I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing the game the same.
I mean, he wasn't perfect, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Bouchard 10.5. Oh my, did he get paid?
Yeah, even with the bad cup final, he still got paid.
I think from what it was sounding like, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's already seen this, so I'm kind of just spitting information that's already known, but apparently there's chances that he was going to get over 10 as an RFA if he hit the market and everything like that, so they kind of had to offer him something a little over that, so they offered him 10.5 when I think they were at 9.5, to which I think Bouchard should have taken 9.5. I can't remember who I was hearing talk about it. It was probably Elliot Friedman, but he was talking about, or no, it was someone that Chicklets was interviewing. Can't remember his name, but he was saying something like, if you say, oh, Evan Bouchard sucks as a $10 million player versus Evan Bouchard sucks as a $9 million player, the 10 million, the 8 figures carries a lot more weight than the 9 million does, because $1 million is a lot of money. And for some people, just hearing the 9 or the 10 is a massive difference in their head, which I totally agree with. I think if Bouchard didn't want to get ripped so much as he already does, because everyone's like, oh, everyone thinks he deserves 12 or 11. Like, he doesn't deserve that. He's like an $8 million player and all this. Yeah. If he signed for 9, even 9.5, I think that the amount of pressure that would be off of his back in Edmonton would be so much better, because if he's making about the same as Darnell Nurse, I think that takes so much pressure off of his back. And it's the same with Darnell Nurse. Like, it sucks that he's making $9 million. Like, he's still a decent defenseman, but he's not a $9 million defenseman, which is the issue with that. And that's why it causes so much stress on these guys. So, I mean, hey, he got his bag. He's one of the leading point per game players in the playoffs as a defenseman for a reason. And no, it has nothing to do with being able to play with two of the best players in the world.
I mean, I think the Oilers kind of had their hands tied just with Bouchard, or not Bouchard, Nurse getting paid the money he is. Bouchard is better than Nurse. Sorry to say, he's better than Nurse. Kind of had to pay Bouchard more than Nurse. And again, too, like, there were rumors of him getting offer sheeted by Carolina. So, like, if they weren't going to sign him, then Carolina would. So, again, it's kind of something you had to do. You really didn't have a choice. I'm not really mad about the things they did do. I'm a little bit frustrated with the things they didn't do. And I do want to preface this. There is still a lot of time left in the offseason. There's plenty of time left before the season ends. But it looks like next year is going to be Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard once again. And after we heard from Stan Bowman, he said that there was going to be changes to that. Looks like there won't be this year. Now, again, I do want to say that Stuart Skinner and Calvin Pickard are both UFAs after next season, but we were told that something was going to change with that, and so far, nothing has changed with that. So, Carter, I'm again, Skinner is a very confusing player with me. I said on the pod, I think the last one we did actually before I stopped being a podcaster, about, I think I said, like, it has been proven that this guy will not win you a Stanley Cup because you've gone to back-to-back Stanley Cup finals, and in both finals has he shit the bed. Now last year was a little less than this year. This year was pretty rough. You should not be going to your backup goaltender at all during the playoffs. Now, I get it if, like, there's an injury or maybe there's just a bad game. But you never see your backup playing as much as Calvin Pickard did for Edmonton. And I think, again, like, Skinner has points where he can be very good. Like, I don't really, like, again, he had good game 4 stats. He's got great analytics. He's like, you know, like in games 4 to 7, he's like 8-2 or something like that. Notice how the two losses are the two losses that they lost the cup with. But again, just like he's not going to win you a cup. It's you can't rely on him. You just can't. Like, and again, in front of an Oilers blue line that didn't change, by the way, I don't think you can stick with Skinner. So I'm a little bit disappointed they did literally nothing with that. Carter, I can't even remember if I let you talk, but what are your thoughts?
No, you didn't, but it's okay. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think that they had to address this goaltending issue. At least, if you're going to continue the Stuart Skinner experiment, you can't always have an experiment be your number one choice. When it comes to, like, I feel like that was kind of the problem with, you know, some of these players that, how do I put this lightly, that demanded so much time to be like a top unit player, a power play player, then they got traded. It's because it's hard to deal with these experiments, and if they go poorly, then it's not good. Now, the Stuart Skinner experiment has worked until the Cup final, where the offense goes up against an unbelievable goalie in Sergei Bobrovsky. Unbelievable. There is no doubting that Sergei Bobrovsky has a chance to be a Hall of Fame goaltender and probably will go down as one of the better goaltenders from the 2000s-ish. Not 2000s, like 2010, 2020s era. He's a great goalie. Do not get me wrong. Sergei Bobrovsky, unbelievable. Stuart Skinner cannot play as good as a Stanley Cup winning goalie should. Now, that is a little bit bias of me, or I guess condescending, when you look at my team's starting goalie, the Winnipeg Jets, and how he sucks in the playoffs. So I understand that. But what I will say is the Oilers, if they are truly needing to win a Stanley Cup, if that is the end goal with this core, with this roster, with everything, Stuart Skinner is not the starter. You need to get a goalie to end this Skinner experiment, to end this Stuart Skinner era, we shall say. If you want to keep giving it tries and get a goalie as a 1-year rental, you go get a star caliber goalie, which I don't know how many are out there right now on a 1-year deal, but you get my point. Go out, find a goalie, use them for 1 year. If you want to go back and be like, no, we trust Stuart Skinner. Okay, we got our cup in Edmonton. Connor McDavid, he's locked up for 8 years now that we got him a cup. That is all it takes to keep Connor McDavid. I guarantee if Edmonton wins a cup this year, Connor McDavid will sign an 8-year deal in Edmonton and will finish his career and go down as one of the best Edmonton Oilers of all time. But if you keep going with this Stuart Skinner experiment, there's a very good chance that you will lose McDavid in the next 3 to 4 years.
You know if Steve Dangle made that Era Wasted video on Marner?
Yeah.
That'd be like a Oilers-related thing for McDavid if they don't fix this. So I agree. What would you grade the offseason? Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I'll just quick touch on that. The thing is that it's not really an era wasted because I think 2 Stanley Cup finals is very good for a Connor McDavid era. Only getting out of the first round twice in an era, that's a problem. But anyways, yeah, I get what you're saying. Anyways, you can go on to what you were saying. Sorry, I just felt like that was kind of funny.
Yeah. What would be your off-season grade for the Edmonton Oilers?
I think with what they had to do, I think they did a very good job. Not addressing the goaltender factor does take a big hit for me, but I think that they did a pretty solid job. So I'd give them
B- for me.
B-. I was going to go like B-. Yeah.
I think like they improved the team, but they didn't do what
they didn't improve the main issue.
They didn't do what we all wanted them to do. So I totally agree. Yeah, I'm going to go with the B- there for me. The LA Kings. This is going to be very interesting. So LA, they brought in Ken Holland. He is the brand new general manager. They certainly made some interesting, and again, I do want to preface this too. I know we're not covering the draft that much. The draft, like, there's not really going to be many players that impact from the draft right away. So I just do want to preface that real quick. I didn't realize that, but LA brought in Ken Holland as the general manager, and he has made some pretty interesting trades, might I say, or not just trades and signings generally. Let's start off with the only trade that is of note that isn't just like draft picks being flipped. They traded Jordan Spence to Ottawa in exchange for a third and a sixth, both in this year's draft. So I was a little bit confused on that. Jordan Spence, a good young defenseman. I thought that was pretty strange, I must say. Carter, you have any thoughts on that? I was a little weirded out by that. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, kind of a confusing one, if you ask me. Just
like, why? What's the reason? If it was to get like Brant Clark more ice time, you just signed 3 other defensemen. Understand? It's so strange. Yeah, that one was really weird to me. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is the signings. The signings were the massive factor, and was what really made everything about this just so bad. First and foremost, they re-signed Andrei Kuzmenko, 1 year, 4.3. That's not too bad. I thought he was actually decent in the playoffs. It's not a bad idea to bring him back. Maybe 4.3 is a little bit too much, but it's not terrible by any means. So I think, again, I'm not mad about that. Joel Armia, they signed 2 years, 2.5. It's kind of weird because they signed a ton of players that were on that 2021 Montreal Canadiens team to go to the Cup final. Like, they got Denault there, they got Armia, they just signed Corey Perry as well. Like, they're just assembling the Infinity Stones of those players. Which, speaking of which, they got Corey freaking Perry, 1 year, $2 million. That's going to be so strange. That is going to be so unbelievably weird.
Especially for Ducks fans, too.
Oh, yeah. He's going to, like, all of, like, the teams that, like, the Ducks were, like, rivals of. Like, it's so weird how that's working out the way it is. Very, very strange. The other signings, and these 3 are absolutely horrible. These are absolutely horrendous for me. I hate these. Anton Forsberg, 2 years, 2.5. I don't hate that one as much as the other 2, but it's still not great. He wasn't that good of a goaltender in Ottawa for like the last 5 years. Cody Ceci, who was a liability for Dallas in the playoffs, 4 years, $4.5 million. Brian Dumoulin, who has been with the Anaheim Ducks the last couple of seasons, has not been that great. 3 years, $4 million. That's $8 million combined with those 2 players who are not worth either of that money. It's just absolutely brutal. Absolutely brutal. And trading away Jordan Spence for that is just terrible. It is so insanely bad. It's like they had the worst offseason. There's no doubt about that. Like, just like with what they did, with what they had to do, like they had the expectation that things were going to change. They were going to start trading away some of the bigger pieces to kind of tear this team down a little bit. They didn't do that, and this is just absolutely it's horrible. Carter, what do you have to say?
I don't know the direction of this team at all. I don't know if they're rebuilding, retooling. What on earth is happening? There's no doubt that they made a lot of additions that could help this team, like now. But as far as helping out a lot of their young guys, they didn't really do that.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they didn't improve. I don't think they improved. I'm just gonna say that right now. I feel like they're either just like the exact same team or they're worse. Like I really don't think they got better. Sorry, continue.
No, you're all good. Yeah, like Brant Clark is now like he was always your second line guy, second pairing guy, but at the same time, like, man, this guy's got a lot of potential, and if you don't see that, just trade him. Because there's no point in you signing Cody Ceci, Brian Dumoulin, if you think Brant Clark is the truth. If you think that he's going to help you, you can't keep him there. I don't know the direction of this team right now. I don't know if they're trying to get younger, get older, do what. I don't know. But this team looked set for a good rebuild. And I don't think that they have it anymore. Like, if the goal of this is to get Kopitar one more ring before he's inevitably gone from LA, okay, this makes sense. But man, this is such a weird one. So weird. I don't know how you're giving Cody Ceci more than Andrei Kuzmenko with how good he was for you last year.
The LA Kings are such a strange team. They are like at the risk of entering another rebuild. Not even like 4 years after just exiting one. How do you have $25 million in cap space? And again, I'm reading a tweet here. How do you have $25 million in cap space and you turn it into 31-year-old Cody Ceci, 33-year-old Brian Dumoulin, 40-year-old Corey Perry, 32-year-old Joel Armia, 32-year-old Anton Forsberg, and 29-year-old Andrei Kuzmenko? This is fucking disgraceful. This is just so disgrace. How is Ken Holland still getting jobs? Like, this isn't gonna work out. This isn't like they had Connor McDavid and they could make the cup final. No. This might not even be a playoff team next year. Like, I think they got worse. I'm gonna be dead honest. You traded away your young players who were performing well for you, and you just brought in more old. And this team, the core was honestly already old. Like Kopitar and Doughty, and even them were just like the guys were aging. How? I don't get it. This is a worse team. Off-season grade F. I'm just gonna say it. Off-season grade F. This is the worst one, honestly.
I'm going to be a little less harsh because I do agree that trading some of these some of these younger players is not the way to go. However, I will say that some of the guys that they signed are still like pretty solid. I get Cody Ceci being 4.5 is a lot of money to be shelling out to a defenseman. I don't agree with them, paying this much for third pairing guys, and you're going to bury Brant Clark on the depth chart, possibly, right? I still think he's very good. Alex Turcotte has never got a real fair shot, and I think that this kid's got a lot of potential still to be shown at the NHL level. But he's now going to be buried behind Corey Perry, Joel Armia. Like, I don't understand burying some of your young players. Now, I do think that Joel Armia is good for the fourth line. I think Corey Perry can work his way up to the third line on this unit. They still have Warren Fogle. Adrian Kempe is an absolute stud. Laferriere he looked great last year. I was a big fan of Alex Laferriere. Kuzmenko showed great flashes. Byfield, he's 22 years old, but has been playing some unbelievable hockey as of late. Anze Kopitar, for some reason, doesn't seem to want to digress at all. So I still think that this team could make a chance at the playoffs. I don't think they're a top 3 in the Pacific. I think they're a fringe playoff team. I do think that this was a not so great offseason for them. I'm going to give them a D, because I still think that they made some additions that I'm like, okay, I could see that. But the shipments that they made was not what I was hoping for them.
Okay. Playoffs?
Fringe. I think there'll be a second wild card.
Notice how I didn't even ask for the Oilers because they're going to be a playoff team. Like, that's not.
Yeah. Or you didn't ask for Calgary either.
Yeah, I did. I asked for Calgary.
Oh, then I totally don't remember if I answered. I might have, but I don't know. Run it.
Okay. All right. Let's move on from the Kings. Let's go over to the San Jose Sharks. The Sharks did a lot. They did a couple of interesting moves, might I say. Pulling up the trades here. You got to give me a second because I got to manually do it. I don't think they did a ton unless if it's escaping my mind right now.
They made 2.
Yeah, just looking at the 2 that they made. Nothing serious. They got Nedeljkovic from Pittsburgh for a 3rd-round pick. That's just them doing the Penguins a favor. I think Nedeljkovic will be the backup or 3rd string. I need to look at their depth chart. I don't think he's going to be anything bigger than that, though. That's not really that.
He's not going to be because it'll be Askarov potentially as their starter.
A lot of different guys. Oh wait, never mind. Yeah, it's gonna be Askarov and Nedeljkovic. I'm looking at their other guys. Yeah, they only have one other goalie, and he's not an NHL goalie, so it will be Askarov and Nedeljkovic. So I guess that's your tandem next year. And that was really the only relevant trade. They dealt Thomas Borderlow to the Devils in exchange for Bowers. That's just a minor move. I wasn't really too.
I found that weird too, to be honest. I thought
Borderlow really fell off, didn't he?
He did.
To be a good player, he just never.
He had a great I think it must have been his freshman year at Michigan.
Yeah, he had really good college, and he just
he was good in college. I had high hopes for him, but I don't know. I guess just couldn't find his game.
Yeah, I guess so. Honestly, when it comes to the signings, there's not a lot of notable ones. There's a couple, though. They signed Mikael Granlund to a 3-year, $5.6 million extension. That's going to be a good contract. That's a good value contract. That is Granlund right there. Taking those 3 seasons, using that for value to up his game, and then ask for way more money at the end of those 3 years. So I like that. Philip Kurashev, $1.2 million for a year. Sorry.
Granlund?
Did I say Granlund? I meant Eklund. Sorry. Eklund, not Granlund.
Brother.
Sorry.
You're good.
Why did I say William Granlund? Okay. Philip Kurashev, 1 year, 1.2. Going to be a good middle 6 forward for them. Nothing too much there. They made some signings when it comes to their blue line. Most notably, Dmitry Orlov, 2 years, 6.5, and John Klingberg, 1 year, $4 million. I think they really did that just to kind of get some names there on that blue line. I think they want to get better next year. I don't think they want to be a last place team anymore. I think they want to improve. And getting Orlov and Klingberg is certainly going to help with their top 6. And as well as that, too, if they really wanted to, they could probably trade one of the 2 or both of them, honestly. So I like those. I like those signings for San Jose.
I agree.
With the Sharks, there's not a lot of risk with anything they could really do. I think pretty much anything that they do is going to be fine. The biggest thing you're worried about is the draft, honestly. So I guess we'll have to see there what happens with the draft. I think that they made good ads, like getting Misa and Ravensburger are 2 very good ads. But even that, they didn't do a ton besides that. They signed Adam Gaudette, who will be a good ad, 2 years, $2 million. He'll be a decent forward. He actually had a good year, a career high this year with Ottawa. So he'll be good this year, I think, for them. But apart from that, this team is basically the same. I don't think that's a bad thing, though. If I had to grade the offseason, I think it's a B. I think they did a decent job. They didn't do anything good. They didn't do anything bad. They made some pretty good moves, honestly. I like the Eklund signing. I like the ads of Orlov and Klingberg. So to be honest with you, I'm not really too mad at what they did.
I agree. I was kind of a fan of what the Sharks did. I'm very excited to watch some Sharks hockey soon. They're going to be a fun team. They're going to be fun, especially if Misa makes that team straight out. Oh, man.
I'm looking forward to it. I am very excited for that. Grade their off season. Oh wait, we already did that. Playoffs. I'm like in a different world. Playoffs.
Yeah. I don't think this year. I think next year could be the year.
I don't think next year either. This year definitely won't be it, but they'll be better. They should be better.
You don't think in 26, 27, you don't think they got a chance?
Maybe 27, 28 though is when their window probably opens.
I really do think that in 2 years they'll have a good chance because I think Misa will make the team in 2 years.
It's a matter of if everybody's there. That's the biggest thing.
That's fair, but like I don't know, man. Dickinson, I think he'll still be there. I think Dickinson will get the call up, so that'll really help their decor.
Yeah, I don't know. I think San Jose, they have a good roster. Regardless of whether they make the playoffs that year or the following year, I think that it's going to be fun to watch this team for sure. All right, Seattle Kraken. Let's take a look at some of the moves that they made. They actually did a decent amount, but I don't really think they did anything that was like too insane for me, just in my opinion. First and foremost, they acquired Mason Marchment from Dallas in exchange for a fourth and a third. Marchment's going to be a good middle six forward. I think that's a good ad. I like that. I like that move, to be honest.
Sorry, my mic was muted. I was making sure it was. No, you're good. Yeah, I like that move. I think it's, he's definitely going to be a good piece. I think he's a great locker room guy, too. So kind of a good ad for him. Not super expensive, but definitely gave up more than I probably would have thought for Mason Marchment. But I mean, he is a little bit of a younger guy, so actually, no, he's not. He's not that. He's like 29, right?
He's like 30. I was like,
really?
I was shocked too. I'm like, what?
He is. 30? I always thought he was like 27, 29.
No, yeah, he's 20. Wow. He's 30. Insane.
Okay, so again, I think that's a lot of. I might take my thing back. I think maybe like a fourth round pick would have been enough for him.
Yeah, he'll be a good middle six forward though, but
I agree.
He's mid-aged. The other moves they made, they traded Andre Burakovsky to Chicago in exchange for Joe Veleno, who they bought out. So they literally just traded Burakovsky for cap space, pretty much. So I think it's a good move. That's actually I actually like that trade. They also acquired Frederick Gaudreau from the Minnesota Wild in exchange for a fourth round pick. Kind of the same thing, just like another middle six forward that they acquired. Honestly, I didn't really think a lot about that. And then that's it for the trades. The signings, they didn't do a lot in terms of that. They signed Ryan Lindgren, 4 years, 4.5. It's Ryan Lindgren. Okay. Not bad. And that's about it. They re-signed a guy like Ty Cartier. They signed Jake O'Brien to an ELC, but apart from that, they didn't do a lot. Really, all they did was acquire. They acquired Marchment and Gaudreau, and that's about it.
What do you think about Capo Caco? He's on RFA right now. You think he's coming back?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's a very high chance he's coming back, but what do you think his number's going to be at? What are you thinking?
I think with what he had with Seattle, I think he's going to get probably. I feel like he's going to get a bridge. I mean, he's been getting a bridge for a lot of his career, but I think he's going to get something, or at least I hope he would get something maybe around $4 million, maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
less.
I was going to say anywhere between 4 and 5.
I think that if they do it right, he had a good stretch of games with them. So I think that again, he has potential to have a good season next year.
Was he in arbitration?
I'm not sure. I don't believe he was. Or
okay, so he could still be offer sheeted.
Or
potentially.
Does that hammer on the screen mean arbitration? He might be arbitration. I'm not sure, but
I think that might just mean arbitration eligible.
Okay, I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta be honest. Like I think Seattle, they didn't do a lot, and I'm gonna be blunt. Like they're probably gonna be the same team next year. They're gonna be about the same. I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be really good, but I don't think they're gonna be really bad. They're gonna be the same. Like I feel like I like Marchment and I like Gaudreau, but I feel like they just acquired like just another like mid-aged middle six forward. Like this team, like you just look at their on paper roster, it's so meh as of right now. And I get it, like you want your young guys to get in there and develop, but the whole team is just so meh. It's going to be another season of just meh or just not very good. So I'm not a huge fan of that, to be honest with you. Carter, what would you give Seattle their offseason grade? What do you think?
I don't even know, dude. C- maybe?
I go like I don't think it's like I don't think the team got worse. I'd say like a C plus, to be honest with you.
I'd probably put it in like around the same area as Calgary, to be honest. Like they
so
did add some guys. They added more than Calgary did, so maybe I'll go C. I'll go C. But I think that they're kind of in the same boat as Calgary in a sense, where their top right winger Zary, Kako, both of them are RFAs. So yeah,
okay, that's valid. Moving on to Vancouver, or I guess sorry, let's ask this question: playoffs? No, okay, yeah.
I think they'll be bottom 10.
Yeah, they'll be bottom 10 for sure. Vancouver did not do a lot. They only acquired Evander Kane as their really real notable acquisition. It feels so weird with a negative locker room. You're getting Evander Kane. They will never beat the allegations. Never.
I don't understand. What are they doing, dude?
Yeah, very weird.
I don't understand the Evander Kane edition. Like he doesn't bring a whole heck of a lot as far as like I don't know, winning.
Yeah, it's just real. Oh, that's interesting. We just got a trade broken on the news.
Whoa.
Ryan Reeves is off to San Jose in exchange for Henry Thrun.
Okay, San Jose might have just gotten steal of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, San Jose A+ grade here.
Yes, this changes the grade a lot.
This might change. I might change my prediction. I think that San Jose's playoffs this year. Forget 2 years. Ryan Reeves is the answer.
He's going to play actual games this year.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm so excited to watch Ryan Reeves play hockey again.
Oh, thank God. All right. But anyways, going back to Vancouver.
You got me so excited, dude.
Now we're hyped up about Reeves. Going back to Vancouver, they only made re-signings. They only re-signed players to come back. They brought in a couple of guys like Pierre-Olivier Joseph. That's it.
Yeah.
And then they re-signed Connor Garland, 6 years, $6 million. Thatcher Demko, 3 years, 8.5. I like both of those. I think those are two solid ads. And then Brock Besser, 7 years, 7.25. I didn't think he was going to come back, but he came back. They got it done.
Yeah.
So
I was shocked by the Besser return, to be honest.
Yeah.
Did not see it coming.
What would you give the offseason grade to Vancouver? Vancouver didn't do a ton. I don't think they really improved, but I don't think they got worse either.
Yeah, I'll go C+, I guess.
It'll be interesting to see what a full year of Marcus Pettersson's going to do with that decor. So I'm a little intrigued about that, but I guess I'll go C+.
And I guess a healthy Demko, too.
Yeah, maybe. So, I mean, Demko healthy could really help. So I guess maybe this team bounces back next year. I guess we'll see. And then last but not least, I keep forgetting, playoffs.
I don't know, dude.
If they bounce back, I think they can make playoffs. But it's
I agree.
I feel like they would have to kick out LA. That'd be the biggest thing.
It's a big if, that's the thing. is the if.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah, I agree. And then last but not least, Vegas. Vegas made a couple of moves. First and foremost, they obviously acquired Mitch Marner in exchange for Nicholas Waugh. Marner gonna be a good ad. That makes that team a cup team. We talked about that plenty of times. I love that. What do you think?
Yeah, that is unreal for Vegas, in my opinion. Guaranteeing him by only giving up Nicholas Waugh, as much as you probably would have liked to have kept him, they kind of had to do also a cap dump as well, because they're $7.6 million over the cap. Pretty crazy stuff. I don't know if that includes LTIR for Petrangelo, but again, I think that Mitch Marner on this roster is pretty ridiculous. Like this team was already stacked, and it just got so much more stacked. Like, as much as that left side's a little bit weird of Barbashev, but like you got Eichel and Marner together, Carlson and Stone together. Like, you got Hurdle as your third line center. What?
I know. That's like freaking unreal.
So, I don't know. It kind of pisses me off that they are still this good. But man,
and they will be for a while.
they're gonna be good for so long. And you know Eichel's probably taking some sort of pay cut next year. He just seems like the type of guy too.
I think Marner getting 12 really helps that situation.
I agree.
If Marner got like 13 or 14, I think Eichel would have been like, hey, you're going to have to pay me. But now I think Marner is, like, would you agree, is Marner better than Eichel?
Regular season for sure. Playoffs, I think I'd probably rather have Eichel. But at the same time, I think that realistically, I think if Eichel's open market, he gets $13 million. If he wants to stay in Vegas, I think they sign him for like 11 or 10.
Yeah, I don't think he gets more than Marner. Like, if he's with Vegas, he's not getting more than Marner.
No, but open market, definitely he gets more than Marner.
I think acquiring Marner, I think with what we've heard from Eichel, like, it just doesn't give him any reason to leave. So I think that he's staying there. So that makes things very excited with that. They also got rid of, they had to do this to get Marner. They got rid of Nicholas Hague and a third-round pick. They acquired Jeremy Lazone and Colton Sissons. Going to be depth pieces. There's really nothing else to look
Which, again, sucks because Vegas has such good depth.
Yeah, it does kind of suck. I agree. In terms of signings, they didn't do a lot. They re-signed Riley Smith. They re-signed Brandon Saad. They brought in Dylan Coughlin. That's it, honestly. Like, they really didn't do anything in terms of signings. You didn't really need to. You re-signed Marner, $12 million, 8 years. It was a sign and trade, so it really didn't even count. But they did what they had to do. They made that Mitch Marner deal. It's an A for me. Like, that Marner deal, like, improves this team so much.
I agree.
I gotta give him an A.
I'm giving him an A as well.
And then I don't even know why I need to ask this, but playoffs?
No.
Cup?
Potentially.
Maybe. Yeah, they're definitely.
I don't think they make it out the West.
Do you think they're the best team in the Pacific now?
Yes. Yeah, probably. I think they got the goaltending, they got the defense, they got the forwards, whereas Edmonton, who I think is... I agree. On paper, they definitely do. But as far as, like, compared to Edmonton, where I think Edmonton has... They got the forwards, they got the D, they don't got the goalie. Whereas I think Vegas has all of that. And as much as, Edmonton has the massive upper hand in forwards, it's slowly shrinking with the addition of Mitch Marner there. So, yeah, I think that this is great for Vegas, and I think that this is huge for Mitch Marner.
Yeah, so I agree with that. Overall, Pacific had some teams that really improved, but I think the biggest team that improved was Vegas. So let me ask you a couple questions. Who had the best offseason? I got to say Vegas, obviously.
Yeah, Vegas
Who
for
had
sure.
The worst offseason?
LA.
Who had a overrated offseason?
Ooh, I don't really know anyone that probably would have been like overrated.
The Oilers a little bit. I think people are a little bit too high on Mangiapane and Howard.
That's fair, but
yeah,
I'm with that though. Like, I think that Mangiapane and Howard are going to be very good. I don't know. Maybe I don't think Vancouver. Maybe Anaheim in a sense.
I was going to say Anaheim's underrated.
Really?
Because I think, like, a lot of the trades they made, they traded away Gibson, who's a better player. They traded away Zegras, who's a better player than what they got.
Mm-hmm.
I think the guys they got back, in terms of like Mrazek and Paling, and then signing Granlund and Kreider, I think they're going to help this team. I think they're honestly better than having Gibson or Zegras.
I agree. I think that the reason that I'm saying overrated is I think that it's all going to come down to how this RFA goes. I think that if they're able to get like McTavish and Dostal at least on great deals, I'll take it back. But it's more so the fact of like, man, if they're going to have to fork over like 10 million for McTavish, which I doubt they will, like 9 or 10 million for McTavish, it could be quite scary. Same thing with Dostal. Like maybe they fork over like 7.5. Like could maybe be like, it's a little bit of an overpay, but yeah. I mean, maybe Vancouver too. I think more realistically without RFAs and everything like that, I'd say Vancouver.
Yeah, I guess that is true because again, they like the offseason's not over yet. Like you still have you still have teams that need to sign their RFAs and stuff. So it's not done yet. Like how those contracts do or are determine like how good it is. So I agree with that totally. It's going to be interesting to see where that goes. Who do you think? And again, I already said mine, but who do you think had an underrated offseason?
Sorry, I'm just checking my notes.
No worries.
I don't really know.
Editing for a Ryan Reeves video while you do that.
Yeah, I don't think I have one.
I'd say like San Jose is another one. San Jose, I think, had an underrated one.
Yeah, I would say that, but like the only thing is like they just didn't do much, so it's hard to really.
Yeah,
hard to really say.
But yeah. All right, that'll conclude this episode of the NordCast. Thank you all for watching. Carter, any final thoughts? I got one. I got one in case you don't.
You got a final thought? I got a final thought.
Uh-oh. What's your final thought?
Nikolai Ehlers.
Ooh, what about him?
I am pissed that you left.
Uh-huh.
I do wish him nothing but the best, but at the same time, fuck you.
Damn. It's a little sad, isn't
it? I don't actually mean that, but like we're gonna get to him when we end up getting to the Metropolitan Division. When we talk about Carolina, but I got a lot of things to say about Nikolai Ehlers, so we're gonna save that for the Metro episode.
We'll miss you, Ehlers. I do want to ask you something, and it is a lot about you. So I guess this will be your final thought. But what are your thoughts on Sportsnet increasing their prices?
Oh my gosh! Well, I don't pay for Sportsnet, so okay. This doesn't affect me that much. But you've got to be that's ridiculous. If you want to up it like $20 total, okay, you'd probably get some people willing to pay. They jacked it like $120 or something like that. No one's paying that. An extra $10 a month? Are you kidding me? Netflix is $10 a month.
Here's the thing, though. You don't have a choice. If you want to watch all of these games, you don't really have a choice. It's either this or you go to the illegal websites, which people will do that, but it's not optimal.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal what I use, but like,
okay, I did it for years. Yeah. And then I started doing the live streams on the YouTube channel like consistently, and I said to my mom, like, no, we're getting ESPN Plus or TNT or whatever. Like, I was like, no, we're not doing this. So
because you're just so far behind.
That's the only problem.
That's what sucks about doing it, like streaming it through that. It does suck, but
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't had a lot of problems with it. I'm behind maybe like an extra 20 seconds, so I just leave my phone, and it kind of makes it feel good because I'm actually watching the game, and I'm not, checking Instagram while it's going on, and then I get a notification and the game's spoiled. Sometimes that does happen, and then I put my phone down just so I can watch the goal.
That is true. Yeah, I guess that's a
But
positive.
yeah, it's absolutely annoying. I hate monopolies.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, that'll conclude this episode. It's definitely something we can discuss. I'm sure me and LeBlanc will talk about it. But thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. We will see you. We're going to do probably the Central Division next time, so we'll do the Central next. But thank you all for watching. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for watching or listening to yet again another episode of the NordCast. If you enjoyed, please subscribe down below or follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. If you want to follow us on TikTok, we are at NordCast. If you want to follow us on Instagram or Twitter, follow at NordCast_. That'll do it for this episode. I'm Nordic. Thanks for listening from all the crew, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.